bet you'll come around, but don't get me wrong. Do what you gotta do what you gotta do. I feel it in my bones like you'll come along now. Baby, you coming through. Do what you gotta do. Take it to the big scene, take it all. Go for hope and glory. Go, go long. Baby, for love. Go all for love. We're going for love. For beating hearts off the charts. Love. Go all for love. We're going for love. Baby, going for love. Baby, for love. I bet you'll get it right, but don't get me wrong. Say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta say. Go like a satellite, just go like a star now. Say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta say. Take it to the big scene, take it all. Go for hope and glory. Go, go long. Baby, for love. Go all for love. We're going for love. For beating hearts off the charts. Love. Go all for love. We're going for love. Baby, going for love. Baby, for love. Take it to the big scene.
getting Smart Doll Gundam style. I'm Sandy.
I'm John.
And this is my Lady Disdain and your Smart Doll news.
Opa Smart Doll news.
Hey, I made it just in time.
No, technically not. But you were fashionably late. Nobody noticed. Oh, man.
Hey, how is everybody tonight?
It is Tuesday night. And for us, it always feels like our week starts over Tuesday night.
Yeah, we have our weekend, and then there's Monday.
Monday, and then Tuesday. But Tuesday night, we get to wash our hands of the last few days and start over again and get excited about stuff. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I lost a few days.
Well, yeah, okay. So what happened?
I had my booster shot for the pandemonium, and it was pandemonium. I do not regret getting it, just for the record. I am very happy that I got it, and I am very happy that I have recovered from it, but I did have a bit of the unusual reaction. I had a rare reaction.
Yeah, in about three solid days, I think. It was a little bit longer than average, most likely.
Yeah, and all I did was sleep, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
I just had mine yesterday, and we've it seems like every friggin' Monday now we're getting snow. So I was also shoveling a bunch yesterday, or the day before, and so it just, for me, it just felt like it amplified all of the muscle pain that I already had. And I couldn't sleep very well last night, but other than that, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, and we're accustomed to shoveling too, so it's like, we're New Englanders by birth.
Okay, we may be accustomed. We're accustomed to snow, but we've spent the past 5 years since we moved here in Pittsburgh with like the lightest winters I've ever seen in my life.
Like, oh, we got 6 inches.
No, we haven't even had 6 inches. We've had like it is like, you can, in Pittsburgh, for at least the last 5 years, you've been able to clear your driveway with your leaf blower. Like,
yeah.
It's just been
I would go out
much.
with a broom and clean the steps.
Yeah. So yeah, that's us here in Pittsburgh right now. Hopefully it'll light up. Hopefully everything is good where you are. Got people from all over the world. Got UK. We've got so we got a shout out from Alabama. So we thank you all for joining us, whatever time it is, and whatever insanity you must have for joining us at such a time.
We're glad that you're able to be here to join us. So
Yep.
That's awesome.
So thank you. And shall we dig in?
Yeah.
So the first thing we want to talk about is the sleeping girls. So last week we talked about Danny had put up a new face, a new doll, a mock-up, we're not exactly sure, of this sleeping girl. And we talked about all the things we wanted out of it, what it might be, is this legit? There was suggestion that it was Photoshop. I think by the end, I agreed that it was possibly Photoshopped. I think I might be going back on that based on some of the things. First off, we have some more pictures that he has released shortly thereafter that night. Let's see. We had this one come out. So here we have, there's a legit head. There's a legit sculpt being made that he has set up, and I believe he's got some 3D printed like front face. This is the weird part to me.
Yeah.
Like these panels, what is he doing with these panels? Is he actually seriously thinking about making face swapping panels?
Face plates instead of full heads. That would be amazing.
Very cool. And would allow him, I don't know if it's easier for him or not, right? Like, to make the back, a universal back piece and then just have different smaller face sculpts. But could be. There's plenty of BJDs that do this, right? Where it comes off of the face is basically what comes off.
Yeah, and one of the things it'll it's going to kind of get us into the other topic a little bit, but one of the things that it could do is allow for a fully mechanized helmet head, and then you put a faceplate on it.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening, but we'll see. Abby asks, is he making masks? And I think based on his response to some of the comments on the original post, I don't believe that is what's happening. So I think it was Andrea, and I apologize if it's Andrea. Andrea on DM me on Instagram to let me know about one of the comments that Danny put out there. And again, this is the original post, so this might have been up there and we just didn't notice it.
Right.
Or it may have been up there and, snuck in there after we had gone live. But Anash Creations said, so dreamy and beautiful. Are you going to sell 2 heads with 1 body, or is it going to be a separate option? I wish to have some sleepy heads for my girls. And that's basically what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like, give us, like, multiple options here.
Mm-hmm.
So Danny's response is, we are working on a closed-eye version of the G1 head first. And there's going to be new characters and closed-eye versions of some existing characters. They're still figuring out the logistics on how they're going to be sold, so we don't know if this is like bundling type of thing or not. And the head mold should be ready by February. And there's going to be blanks and chaos.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so I think he's still figuring it out, but we're talking like legit head sculpts. Mm-hmm. I'm still not sure on the whole, like, why he's got just like a faceplate thing in
that
3D
could just
printed.
be, not doing a full head because he doesn't need to do a full head. He just needs to do the face.
Some sort of testing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But I'm very much looking forward to where this takes him.
Yeah. It's opening up a whole lot of new interesting things.
Yep. So his other big post was his first real discussion about the hijab that was he posted a picture of that we talked about very briefly. And he's actually talking here about, because this has been released in the past. This has been released in the past. This is actually a redesign. So he's it's basically designed to match the current apparel line, and it's going to still tweak around the face. And so what he's doing is really trying to make this fit smoothly around the current heads, and be perfect where you can probably just snap it on.
Yeah, it's got snaps and buttons, because otherwise you've got to make, like, you got to put like a full-size pins in there.
Yeah.
Or you've got to just like get it wrapped around and hope that it stays, or use Velcro or something like that, and you're not going to get the same drape.
Right. So again, I talked about this last time. Danny really likes to get the perfect look, and he will engineer stuff even not realistically in order for it to stay just in the right way on the dolls for that perfect look.
Right. And I think it's going to look really cool. Why shouldn't... honestly, I think if I were traveling around in a post-apocalyptic world, I would probably have a headscarf on too.
True. I think most people would. But, again, just great representation. Here, you can get an idea. I don't know if this is the final, but you can actually see the snap. It's an awfully big snap right now in this version.
Yeah.
So hopefully that trims down, maybe goes a little more invisible.
It looks kind of cool, though. I actually kind of like it.
It's just weird. It's just like, are you representing a hijab? Are you trying to make it fit perfectly and become invisible, or has it become a part of the fashion statement?
Is it a jewelry piece? Like,
right.
is it a decorative pin that's holding it together?
Considering most of the time he doesn't shoot it so you can see it, I think I have a feeling that he's going to try and make that smaller and more invisible. But, yeah. So, hijab is on its way and should be in production next month.
Honestly, I think hijab pins, like, like culture Japan style, like some sort of pin that could go in, you know, like maybe it's like the dog tags or something like that.
Right,
But
so,
something
like-
that could go in there, like as a decorative piece, even
And-
if it's only one.
Right, so sort of like even just embossing the logo on there or something.
Yeah, I think it would look cool.
So let us know what you think of the hijab, of the snap closure. Is it too unrealistic? You know, what are you thinking? And now, of course, the biggest story of the week, which, you know, is I feel proud of because we totally called this.
We did.
Not in exactly this way, but, you know, we started this year
Talked
saying...
about armor. We talked about cyber parts.
Yep.
We talked about Hulkbuster.
Yep. And here we have essentially a torso designed by Mecha Designer at Sukabu 89, and it's basically it's a whole line, and I think what we're seeing here is not as exciting as the potential for the whole line.
Right.
So let's talk about what we're seeing here, and this is essentially bust stands. Like, people have been making those 3D printed like you would have a marble bust, right?
Right.
And then you put the head on there, and all your floating heads, you can have, you know, little things. And
they serve their purpose, but Danny has said he's not a particular fan, I think.
I love that he does that. He just calls out straight up, like, he sees the need and the problem, but he doesn't really care for the solution himself. He wants a more creative solution. So yeah, here we have a bust stand. And you could just pop your head right down on top of that.
Yeah, and collectors who like to collect heads can have this whole shelf of those lined up.
Yep.
With all their heads on it. Or you can put a head on it in order to, you know, display your wigs.
Now,
or work on your wigs.
This image, the second image in there, is really interesting because here it is basically just the bust, right? Not the bottom part of this torso. And that torso, I mean, you know, this torso has like these special like drums on the bottom and things like that. But it's essentially, this is a bust, a smart doll bust in sort of cyber style, or mecha style, and a smart doll torso with essentially the tops of thighs, and they stop, right? Just set there perfectly to be a stand.
Right. Which I love that design, by the way. I love that as a like pedestal for the stand. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah. But then you've got this. So this is really interesting. Danny essentially said, like, you know, it's cyberpunk. It should be able to be, like, suspended. So this is essentially this designer's take on the Borg Queen, who just comes out of her body and has, like, a spine. And you'll notice, both in the other picture and this, you've got the parts that we've been seeing, the frame design. This is all using the new internal frame.
Yeah, that even like the base piece over there.
This down here.
Yep.
This is all the new internal frame. And so essentially what's being designed here is the bust. The bust that would go on top of the new frame.
Which has a very Iron Man kind of quality to it.
And then here again, we still have those shoulders, and inside here you can assume is all of that original, or not original, all of the new CJ made frame.
I mean, like, those might just be solid, because all they're for is as displays.
Yeah, it's possible. I think it depends on how those things hook up and how this wants to be. It's going to be more stable.
What does it say in the description of that photo? Let's see. The bust can dock with the torso to be displayed on a table or shelf or on your shoulder while you commute to school or work.
Now, it may end up being that these are, like, completely printed as is. Like, maybe these are 3D printed, or who knows how they're made, right? But maybe these are manufactured in this way, but it is so clear to me that the pieces that they're using internally are exactly what Danny has been designing and building internally. And I don't think what we've been seeing on Danny's pictures and his stories and everything was specifically for this. I still believe that the new frame is coming.
Right. But he did talk about it having to support more weight and stuff. And he commented that the person designing this stuff, Sukabu 89,
Yep.
is working on vehicles and mecha prosthetics and stuff like that.
Cyborg / cyberpunk and mecha prosthetics and vehicles.
Yeah.
So not only is this cool, right? Like, this alone I would be having dreams about for weeks. But the potential that this opens up, we're talking about an entire line of cyberpunk oriented accessories and things like that.
And I'm wondering if he's thinking of designing the if this would allow the regular torso to come off the regular bust to come off the torso as easily, because then you could take, like, say they did make something like even the bottom half of like a Hulkbuster costume or something like that. You could just take the top half of your doll and plug it into a Hulkbuster.
Yeah, well, I think that whatever they end up doing, even if it's the same level of, I won't even say difficulty, I don't find it that difficult to remove the head and remove the arms or something. I mean, it's process, and it's kind of annoying if you've got it just trying to swap some clothes.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be that big a deal, even if it is that same level of effort.
Right, but I'm thinking that he probably, I mean, if he's doing it here, he's probably doing it so that you can break that spine apart and just pull the top half of your doll apart. I mean, if they're all going to have that, then...
Yeah, it's how much crossover is there in the design of this as an object and the frame.
Right.
And we'll just have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, but I gotta think that I don't know. I could be wrong, but I gotta think that he would want to have everything be dual purpose. I can't imagine him wanting to have two completely different frames.
Yeah. Well, yes. I think you're right, except that it's like, if it may be still easier just to make this entire, bust piece as one piece than it is to make the frame plus the bust piece that's going to go down on top of it, and to have them one solid thing. So I don't know that they're really, even though the design is very much the same and they're going to look similar, I don't know that it has any real need to be that tied together.
I don't know. I just think interactive parts like that it's play.
Oh, absolutely. And for a man that loves Lego as much as Danny does, I mean, I can see how that would be totally up his alley. Let's check the chat. Kane says, I would be interested to see how they sell and how long they're around for. The idea is cool, but I'm not sure how many people would invest in them, depending on cost, of course.
My thought on that is it really depends on how far he goes with the whole idea. Like, if you find out that you're going to be able to take that part and separate that bust out and use it to give your doll an upper body that is Cyborg, or plug your doll into another mech suit or something like that. The more that stuff is integrated, the longer it will probably stick around for.
Yeah, and I would imagine that, well, I don't know. I think he might have to, in order to get it that easy, I think he would have to get over, like, some of the issue with the prosthetics. And what I mean is the prosthetics are just a shell. They just replace. You actually have to take apart the doll's, like, calf and replace the vinyl shell that's on there. And I wonder with like a newer frame, is that either going to be easier or is it going to be just as easy to have a full replacement?
Well, I'm assuming that might be what it is, because he did say that there is another redesign. Like, he did that one with the screen printing on it, but he said there is another redesign of the prosthetic leg coming.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it probably has to do with all of the Cyborg stuff.
Yeah, it could.
And the new frame. And honestly, that would be great. If you didn't have to, like, separate the shell when you wanted to fix something or do something, that would be great. If you could just plug in another piece.
Yeah. And another thing to think about, if you think about, like, how... Like, I don't think I would necessarily start buying and replacing all the bodies of my dolls, but I probably would buy a fully Cyborg doll. Like, if there were something like complete interchangeable parts, I would probably buy 1 or 2 bodies that I could put doll heads onto and make them that for that moment. Like, have a Cyborg or 2 versus, you know, and have that interchangeability.
I just love that it adds this whole new play aspect, and, you know, with, like, the boys coming, you know, going to be coming back and everything, and, like, I just think, and his efforts to make the dolls more accessible for kids.
Yep.
I think all this mech stuff is great, and we'll see, you know, something that's very dear to our hearts, the idea of seeing more of those who identify as boys being able to and wanting to play with these things.
Right.
You know, and girls who like mech. You know, I mean, like, just
breaking down the whole doll action figure barrier thing, and just having it be, you know, this is fun.
Now, I don't know how much, like, Volks has done that, because they have their whole, like, you know, Volks has all of their hobby line of mech figures, robots, and things like that, and then they have the dolls.
Yep.
You know, so, like, I'm surprised we haven't seen, I mean, I haven't been looking at them that long, to be honest, but, like, we haven't seen a lot of, like, mech stuff for Dolphy Dream.
Yeah.
And we do know that Danny has had a relationship with Bandai so far.
Absolutely. And he has been building a lot of mech models.
Yep.
A lot of Gundam models and things, so we know the love of there. And this is the thing. You know, you ask about, like, I wonder how long they'll be around for. I think they'll be around for as long as people are buying them and as long as Danny is enjoying making them. And I think the reason that Danny is making this is for himself. and he thinks there's a market there.
I think Danny
but part of him doesn't care.
I think everything Danny does, he does for himself.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's because he enjoys it or it makes his life easier because people stop complaining. He's doing it for himself and for his team. You know, otherwise he's not happy.
Right, absolutely.
So keep doing stuff for yourself, Danny, and keep making us cool stuff.
Let's take a quick, speaking of, just Danny doing things for the sake of just easing the headache on their end. He did post, I'm going to have to see if I can find the post here. See if he put it in this. Here we go. This is the updated version. So this is something to take note of. Danny added in some checkout notes. I'm not sure where this comes up in the process. This might just be, being that there's no call to action, there's no, like, you know, accept button or I agree button. I believe this is just like a link in the shopping cart page where it's like more info or something like that. So Danny basically is telling you, these are the things that will cause your order to be canceled. Now, I'm pretty sure this happened because of an incident, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened? Because I think you were up
I think
for
it was, like, actually, it was after the last Smart Doll news, I think. There was a chaos drop with something that he never does, which is he announced an extra 10% discount code.
Right. He had a discount code you had to put in.
Yeah. And within, like, and it actually said on there, please do not ask us to retroactively apply the discount. Make sure you put it in. Make sure you get it taken care of. Less than 10 minutes later, I had to shut off the discount for everyone because people were asking me to apply the discount after the fact.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the discount code was only active for like 3 minutes or something like that.
It was short.
It was very short. So, I mean, it just goes to show you, like, people don't read. People, please read. And understand, try and understand what those requests do on their end. It slows down everybody because they've got to go and sit there and manually do a bunch of stuff. Their system, I'm pretty sure they're using Shopify. They basically probably have to do like refunds and then reorders because those things have already charged. It is a huge hassle to do, and they're a small team. They're a small team that is like barely, it's like, do you want the team to be making dolls or do you want the team to be shipping dolls?
Right.
And so asking those questions stop everything. And so he's very strict and clear about making sure that, trying to combine orders, let's say like asking for a discount, asking them to lower the declared value on the order for customs and to get lower customs amounts, asking them to ship out as soon as they can because
they're gonna ship out as soon as they can.
As soon as they can. Asking them to deliver by a particular date. And Danny's typical tongue-in-cheek style, he has added asking them who shot first, Han or Greedo. And there is part of me that really, really wants to call him on this and ask him in a note and see if he'll cancel my order. I know he can't answer the question, but is he going to really, really cancel my order for number 5?
But he did actually, at the end of it, say, like, what they think.
Yeah, well, yes. So he has explained some stuff. I think he had this out once without this, and then, of course, people ask more questions and need more clarification. And so he has added here that, come on, guys, he can't control the shipping people. He can't tell you that something's going to arrive by a particular date. It just can't happen. And I don't know why people are still asking. I mean, it's past Christmas. Like, why are we freaking out right now about shipping dates? Or I should say delivery dates. And he does mention here that people actually refuse to pay import taxes because they don't know, like, they don't realize what's going to happen. They don't do their research. And you really got to do your research when you're buying internationally and know what is it going to cost you? What kind of tax are you looking at paying when they import into your country?
It happened to us. We ended up having to pay like an extra chunk of money for those dolls that we got when we got the prototypes.
Yeah, and so most people in the U.S. don't ever hit any sort of like threshold where that would become an issue. For the most part, it's free for us for import. No import fees or tax.
Yeah, there's not on toys up to a certain dollar amount of the entire order.
Yeah. So, just do your research. It is not. It's really not his responsibility for that. But of course, he does say that they think it's Han that shot first, or everyone knows it's Han that shot first. As far as what George Lucas wants us to think, that's another story. But so yeah, we've got Beth in Wonderland says, I assume birthdays and anniversaries. That's a good call.
Right, birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine's Day is coming up.
Order early, just get it done early, and hope. And I had presents. I mean, you guys probably saw the video we did where I bought Sandy that art doll of our late dog. That thing I ordered in November and didn't arrive till like 2 weeks after Christmas.
And I think most people that collect dolls, at least that collect higher end dolls and BJDs and stuff like that, are used to waiting for what they order because most of the time they're coming from overseas or whatever, So I mean, like, it's just, this is one of the times that you might have to wait.
Janice says, I really like his quirkiness with adding bits into the written text. I think it's partly. It's one of his defense mechanisms for trying to tone down, these pretty harsh, like,
This is the rules.
Yeah.
Do this.
And but he has to do that. So yeah, I mean, he always throws in those little, like, I remember one of the first things that attracted us about Smart Doll was watching his videos and how ridiculously weird and funny and awesome he is.
We didn't even have our first dolls yet, and we're sitting there going, "Okay, Danny."
Yeah, that's that's just keep in mind. It's good to bring it up every now and then, especially on on our stuff. So I know we've been talking about doing maybe a refresh of the getting started or
The before you buy
before
video
you
that
buy
we
video,
did.
yeah. So we just have to figure out the right way to do that. We also as far as things that are coming up, should be this weekend, but you may have seen on Instagram my introduction of the completed short Smart Doll body that I created and modified. She, again, has a name, which she'll get introduced probably in the video. But still got some editing to do and some shooting to do, but I've filmed the process of all of the sawing and carving of vinyl to make her this. I want to say, I haven't actually measured her. Where is...
Is there a tape measure here?
Oh, I think I just gave myself like a cramp in like right in my ribs up there. That's awful. So she is basically 19 and a half inches. I forget what centimeters that is, but hey Siri, how many centimeters is 19 and a half inches?
19.5 inches is 49.53 centimeters.
49 and a half centimeters. So, be on the lookout for that this weekend. And in the meantime, if you're enjoying the Smart Doll news, be sure to give the video a like, because that's pretty much the only way that it's going to get spread to more people. And if you're having fun, just click that button, and you'll be doing us a big favor. All right.
What do we got next?
So those are the major stories. Let's take a look through some of the other stuff in the timeline. I want to call out one thing that I think is happening, and I think that is Future's coming soon. This is a little odd looking because it doesn't look like it has all of her like her full face up in terms of like the eyelashes and stuff like that, but I am pretty sure this is Future, and I'm pretty sure she's getting ready. Now maybe he's changed her for all we know. Maybe our version of Future is somehow an older version, but I don't think so. And the other thing that supports my theory is I am pretty sure that this is the electroplating paint masks for Future.
I didn't even notice that.
I made sure to try and take some time today and figure out who this was. And it wasn't until I saw the other shot that I just showed. And it's mostly this. This is the kind of signature for Future.
She's amazing. I really do hope she comes out soon, and I hope she comes out in other color than cinnamon, so that I can
Because you want all of them.
so I can chew on my hand and go, do I want to do this?
Yeah, I know. I mean, she looks pretty good in tea. She looks amazing in Coco. And in fact, I almost wonder. Well, no, that's like I don't know what this says. And I was saying, like, I was thinking, like, can you see, like, a skin tone under that? But I don't think that's a skin tone. I think that's, like, a piece of the packaging or whatever this is wrapping. But it's hard to tell. We've been seeing a lot of this lately. And I think I've been kind of going by it because we've seen a lot of this sort of stuff in Chaos.
Right.
But I
have a couple thoughts on this. It could be just the replacement for the gray undies. He could be leaning towards a purple for now.
Okay.
Also, this color would look phenomenal on gray.
But there is a pretty recent story. They've got underwear for the pocket doll.
Right.
I think we're
That
seeing.
could be pocket doll
I
colors.
think we've been seeing some pocket doll underwear.
Yeah.
We've been seeing this color a lot.
Hey, and look who she's standing next to.
Yeah, you know what? That's somebody called out. That's not Future. Because it doesn't have no teeth. And it's definitely not. So that is, I believe, who was it? Cammy called it Resilient. So that's disappointing. I'm like, why are we seeing Resilient, face? Although we could be seeing Resilient as, maybe it's face mask for Pocket Doll. It's hard to say. It's so confusing now with Pocket Doll, and it's like, are these new? Is he ramping up a Smart Doll or is he ramping up a Pocket Doll? And I don't even know anymore.
I feel like we've got to see Future soon. I mean, she's stunning. Like, every time I post pictures of her, people are like, I wonder when she's coming out. And believing that she is because Mirai means future. Like, I just can't imagine him not releasing her.
Yeah, I am now taking back what I said before. Those were definitely pictures of Resilient, but I don't know. Like, he is plugging her all over the place. She, and he does that anyway because he gets he uses one girl for a little while. Here we have. I don't think this is not. No, that's. Maybe it's her. No, that's not her. So, I don't know. We're at a loss here. It's impossible for us at this point to tell, what he's ramping up on. But we can make a plea. Danny, bring out the girls. Where's the future?
The four.
I will call it the Future Squad. All right? The Future Squad, we've got so many, great face-ups that he had, and we're just not seeing any of them. So hopefully they come out, and hopefully we can, and hopefully we're right that they're actually an updated version of a bunch of the original girls.
Yeah, I want the other three girls just because I want them to go with Miranda.
Yeah. Again, more ramp up. I mean, obviously this is easier to tell. More ramp up on Batgirl. I mean, it definitely feels more and more like we're coming to a
She's
Q1.
coming soon.
I think if he's aiming for February, it's probably still going to be March. That's my guess, but sometime I would say by March we're gonna see Batgirl.
I think it was really funny because after we discussed it and went, oh no, not yet, not February, maybe March, and then we get pictures of the suit in a bag.
Right.
Which is kind of funny.
Seayak Ranch asks, will the pocket doll mannequins be sent in the underwear set?
We don't know.
No clue, but considering he doesn't like to send the girls naked.
But if you're seeing it as though it's a mannequin, it doesn't need to have underwear on.
That's true.
And like I said,
And if you're just buying a body, and that's all that's there.
Honestly, I think I really think the closed eyes is the best way to go for the mannequin too.
Yeah, I think that would be a fantastic face up. Except though, once you put, I know I get the whole it doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have a soul. I think the better would be the closed eyes, sculpt with no face up. So it is much more not a doll. And you could put a face up or whatever on it, but I don't know. It seems weird to me to have, if you're going to say, well, it's just a mannequin, it's not real, but then you're going to paint facial features on it. Even if the eyes are closed, that still looks like it's a girl. I think I love how even we get a little bit of an insight into we've been talking about his Stream Deck usage.
What's he gonna do with it? Is he gonna start going? Is he gonna start doing YouTube Live and stuff? And...
So he's actually expanded. He needed more buttons, so we got the even bigger version. And he says he uses it for workflow, inventory, and automation management in the studio, which makes a lot of sense. If you're doing repeated tasks a bunch, it's really nice to just have a button that does it.
Yeah.
And anything else?
Some wigs getting maintenance on the 22nd.
Yeah, more of the face-up thing.
Yeah, so what's going on the paper behind it?
This is some sort of socketing diagram. I think
that could just be the head cap though, right? I mean, the head cap has a...
So this is the face, you mean? But either way, this look at here, we're talking about this edge here. There's a lip and then an insert. And assumedly that would go into this drawing here, probably. Or maybe not, but...
And then over on the other side, we've actually got a curve being shown.
4.5 millimeters, 16 millimeters that way. Yeah, I don't know. I love trying to figure out what the heck they're drawing. And I love that I also want to know what is on the other side of this paper, because there's a giant big anime eye on the other side.
It says Mirai on the top.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that could be just the company. Is that actually Mirai?
It could be Melody.
Yeah, it might be Mirai. That's really weird.
It's a big eyeball.
Can us of the sleeping face can slot over the head, is it a sleeping head or is it just a plate? And I think he's experimenting here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, if it's doing face plates, it's a lot of extra engineering if it's a one-off, right? Mm-hmm. But it could make sense of how to do multiples for one character and have it be swappable and changeable.
Yeah, and it's changeable with mech stuff too. Like I said.
Yes. I do kind of want to see a faceplate come off and there just be like a mech, internal system. A Terminator skull.
Yeah, that would be really cool. The whole head is like metal or whatever, or maybe it's a helmet and then you just plug the faceplate on.
Oh no, Danny, you need to make forget helmet. You need to make a head sculpt that detaches and comes apart like the masks that Arnold Schwarzenegger wears in Total Recall, where it just and it just comes off. That'd be fantastic. So yeah, still completely baffled by this stuff. If you have any ideas, drop us a comment. Let us know. Does it look like these diagrams are actually like? Do you think he's kind of committing to this path, or like he said in the comments, is he really just looking at building some heads? Like, and that's like we just don't know what type of heads. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
So many possibilities. Abby says this photo is really giving me mixed feelings, and I'm kind of in the same point. Like there's a lot of stuff happening right now that I'm just like I want to see clearer progress on.
I like Janice Harding's comment.
Danny recycling chopsticks. Yes.
Good for the environment.
Yep.
Got to recycle the chopsticks.
Gotta lower your carbon footprint there. Siak Ranch says he's setting up a theater play.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some chopstick no theater. Could be chopstick kabuki, whatever. Yeah, this is just bizarre. And that's really it. Oh, actually, no, we should talk about. There's two things we should talk about. There's a number of people have pointed out that this is summer coming back, and this is summer with a newer. This is basically T Melody.
T.
I mean, sorry, not
Symphony.
summer. It's Symphony. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, in a different wig.
But I mean, that is, that's a modern face up on a T doll for Melody.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they just revamped Melody, so maybe he is bringing he's bringing Symphony back with the same adjustments.
My guess is it will be Melody and T.
You think so?
I mean, he's moved away from doing specialized names for alternate skin tones. So if he's following his current sort of methodology, it would be just Melody in T. But
She's pretty.
yeah, and we've seen this happen with some of the Coco dolls losing their Coco specific name, and then you have new Coco dolls coming out as just Coco version of that doll. And if I remember correctly, was there something weird going on? Oh, someone asked, what the heck is this?
It looks like I thought at first it looks like a helmet, but then it looks like like it might be a bust, like a smart doll, like a pocket doll bust sitting on a smart doll head.
I knew exactly what it was as soon as I looked at it, and yeah, I don't know about pocket doll, whatever sizing, but it is a bust and a head, right, with a bust sitting on it, like probably backwards.
Yeah.
Or maybe forwards, which is giving that sort of like there's this curvature here and
Over
here,
the eyes.
over the eyes.
Yeah.
So it's using. It could be using the breasts as like some weird, eye goggle things.
Look at that girl's face. She is so cute.
She is very cute. That was smooth. So yeah, the weird things that are just going on in the background. So the other thing that I think was that people have been talking about in the chat most of the night, and we haven't seen anything here, but someone did notice in one of the Facebook groups that Kanata is
just nowhere.
Gone. And yeah, her glasses are there. There's Melody. There's the older alternates and T and Milk.
But Cinnamon
that's
is
it.
nowhere.
Cinnamon is gone. My bet is, my guess is it's probably a mistake in terms of how he tagged them and removed her from stock. And she should Well, I don't know. I mean, you're usually able to like search them even if they don't show up in like the Smart Doll section under Cinnamon.
If they've been up at all at any point, you should be able to search them.
Right. So it's a little weird that she's not showing up there. But again, it could just be a tagging issue, and he just hasn't fixed it, or there could be a very specific reason. I can almost guarantee you she's going to come back one way or another. Kanata is a long-time staple.
Yeah, she's one of the characters. Someone suggested that she might be getting a new wig, so she's having new pictures taken.
That could be. It doesn't make any sense to me why he would... Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe. All right, so you're saying she has a new wig, she needs new pictures, we pulled it from the site. Now, normally I would why would they bother pulling it? But if she has a new wig, not getting a new wig, but actually has a new wig currently, and for whatever reason he has not been able to prioritize new pictures, he may have decided to just hold it, take the doll off until he can get the new pictures and do it that way. So, maybe.
Who knows? We don't know.
Rampant speculation. It's what we're good at. Sometimes we're right.
No red loafers yet.
No apparel drop.
Nope.
So, I mean, this is the thing. Danny tries to be pretty transparent as much as he can without setting false expectations, because, stuff happens. He has set the expectation that there was going to be an apparel drop, and then that got pushed. And now it's almost February. I cannot believe it's almost February. And no apparel drop yet. Just some chaos stuff is happening. So, it's... I think right now Danny seems to be trying to get caught up and ahead of the game on a bunch of stuff at once. And then we're going to see some stuff rolling around. And I think, Wallet-kun appreciates, the break.
Yeah.
Although
we've still been doing some stuff.
It's not that much. We slowed down. Oh, no, because now we're back to buying on Etsy. Because when Danny's not available, there's a world of custom clothing creators on Etsy.
I just got 2 orders from Volks, too.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well, you're going to have to start making stuff because she doesn't... No doll has the proportions of this doll. She's got smart doll hips. And,
right. She's like a Mochiashi crossed with a DDP.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. She needs special clothing. I gotta get to work on her costume. I gotta get to work on... I still have a custom outfit to make for someone in the Discord.
Yep.
Which I have an idea for that I'm very excited about, so... Which I didn't get a chance to tell you about yet.
Cool. I'll find out later.
And, there's a lot of sewing to do.
So, we're gonna finish up with this girl this week and show you the whole process, and so hopefully it'll be interesting for you to watch. It was a little scary for me to do, but I can't wait to actually get her in real costumes and get some of the face-ups that we've got in the works done as well.
Yeah.
And start digging into our stories again.
Yep, I got a lot of work to do.
Yep.
I have a lot of work to do.
So do I.
Yeah.
But we're going to be filming more and more of that for you guys. So the channel will be definitely shifting a little bit into the creation mode instead of the unboxing mode.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you all for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, be sure to check out our Discord server at myladydisdain.com/Discord. It is a fantastic community. And we are starting up some fun activities. We'll be doing, I think, probably maybe in a weekend or two, we're going to schedule out another hangout night, do some online games. Someone made the mistake of talking about D&D on the server the other day, so I made a thread for that, and that's filling with all like the really cool, amazing like characters and everything that everyone's been making, and I just love hearing about not only like the characters that people are making when they role play, but also like the characters that they're making for their dolls and the stories that they're building around it. So it's really cool. You should join us and give this video a like, and by all means, there's lots to talk about here, so leave a comment. We'll be there.
That's all for us. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.